excited to have a chance to talk with Jurriaan Kamp, who just came to New York City from Holland. He's the editor of the new magazine, Ode.
And in trying to find a place to
do the interview,
since it is such an environmentally friendly magazine, we hit on the natural, Central Park, New York City.
Jurrian, you started your magazine Ode in 1995 in Europe, and now you've just brought it to the United States. Why did you choose this time to bring an internationally flavored magazine to this country?
This magazine is showing America what the world is doing at large. It's showing initiatives of people doing things in another way, maybe. And America also, like other countries, has to connect to that world. And that's why our magazine is an important bridge.
When I look at a newsstand, or I look at, I'm in a doctor's office, which I was not long ago, I see People magazine, and Us magazine, and Star magazine, and somebody suing Liza Minnelli because of some fight or something. America seems to be tabloid-oriented for entertainment, and my concern is, will people pay, although it's not expensive for Ode, can you get enough people to switch from that tabloid mentality to, as we say, the international magazine for people with a passion for progress? That concerns me.
Whatever happens far away is somehow going to affect us. And that again means that we have to take care of these things and just that we should know what's going on in the world and that we should connect to other places just for our own well-being. And that is why I believe such an international approach as Ode is bringing is very important just at this very moment, not only for this country, but for the world at large.
That's a big job for Ode magazine, Joe.
Well, it is, and the name Ode is, I assume, used on all of your international publications as well as the American publication. And it's a song of joy, a song of praise in English. Why would you choose that word for all your publications?
I love the word ode because it's very positive. And that is another thing that is very important in our magazine, that we look for the possible. We look for the solutions. We look for these initiatives that may give the answers to problems we face all over the world. And it is interesting that, for instance, when someone in Sydney, Australia, is trying at a school to do something new which inspires the pupils and the teachers, that example may, when someone reads it in, say, Scotland, or for that matter in Chicago, wherever it is in the world, it may inspire people to say, hey, I can do this also. I can change my school. And that's why it's important to share these stories.
You know, you have an amazing...
I like this idea for this magazine.
Well, it's very interesting, but you managed to accomplish it by inviting very well-known people to contribute to your magazine. Robert Redford has written...
Bono.
Yes.
Michael Moore.
The Prince of Wales. Prince Charles.
Yeah, the big tall guy.
Yes,
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But how do you entice them into contributing to the magazine?
Well, I think here's an important thing. It shows that there are lots of well-known figures in our world who are sharing this passion that we want to contribute to something positive. We want to share stories that work, etc. And I believe that it is very important that such well-known figures stand out and show it. And I just happen to find that these people are willing to contribute. And that's very
Do you go to them first?
Well, sometimes you do. Sometimes also we find that they have been giving a talk somewhere and we reprint the talk. It's just a matter of looking it up, finding the story.
But how are you, let's talk business for a second. This is all important and good stuff, but how are you and your people at Ode that finance this, how are you going to measure success here in the United States? Is it people getting involved? Is it people buying subscriptions? Is it advertising pages? All this is well and good, but talk to me about the business of it.
It should be real business. I come from a business country, like Netherlands.
Former economist, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is a for-profit business, and we're just looking to make it work, as we have been proving to do in the Netherlands itself, where we have been running this magazine in the Dutch edition for about 8 years now. So what we're looking for, yes, subscribers, first of all. Yes, people who buy the magazine in the newsstands. And, of course, advertising is part of the magazine business. But I suppose that subscriptions is our main focus. And we will get those supported, through the web, which normally, in these days, makes it much easier to reach out to people and to let them know that you're around.
Now, you started this magazine here in the middle of October, and I must tell you, I looked at a newsstand as we came here to Central Park, and I didn't see it. Where can you buy it?
We are now in Barnes & Noble stores. We are in all food supermarkets, border stores, wild oat supermarkets. But of course, this is a
bananas. You get my banana, I get the other too.
Sure, we get it. Yeah, story about bananas.
Obviously, so many of the themes in Ode are what we would probably link as a liberal idea in this country, because in this country we tend to be very, very divided between who's a conservative and who's a liberal. Do you write with a political bent, or is it just on an environmental bent?
No, I would say if this magazine is about people and society, so yes, it's about politics, because politics is about society. At the same time, we're not about left and right. We're about ideas and about solutions.
You know, it was such a beautiful day, I said, let's get up, let's walk around, let's show them a little bit of America's most beautiful spot, Central Park. Let's take a walk.
And we took them to our rock garden. Well,
Not our rock garden.
but since they do talk so much about the environment, we decided to find out if they really put their money where their mouth is.
Jurriaan, as editor-in-chief of Ode, what would you say is the most important article you've published to date?
Well, I think a very important story we recently addressed is the issue of the hydrogen economy. And now we're standing here in Central Park, and I think that is one of these issues in our world. This is a beautiful surroundings, but we are nevertheless inhaling all these exhaust fumes, like you're saying, right? So we need to do something there. And the good thing is, of course, we can do something. The hydrogen economy, we have the technology, we have the opportunity, it's just a matter of doing it. Now, we laid out in this story how we could quickly implement the hydrogen economy, and how, in fact, there's already one country in the world actually doing it, like Iceland. Iceland is doing it.
Jurriaan, as you look back from Holland or from Europe back at the United States, are we doing our share in the kinds of things that are important to you, your magazine, and your present readers? You're talking about, as we said before, people with a passion for progress. How are we perceived in Europe as you look back at us relating to that?
Yeah, what I think is that not only America can do more, many more countries can do more, but of course, since America is such an important player, since America is leading the world in many ways, I think America should lead as well in these promising new ways. And if we want to make this world a bit a better place, then America needs to be in a leading role there.
How is your company acting in a way that you espouse in your magazine? Do you and your gang at Ode and the people involved with Ode have the same kind of principles, the same kinds of goals, and the same types of passions as the magazine espouses?
I suppose
You're
we have
for
that. Well, yes, but I suppose we do. I mean, in many ways, we try at least. We print on recycled paper. Whenever we get a new subscription, we plant a tree in Uganda to fight.
You do what?
We plant a tree in Uganda.
For every person who subscribes?
Yes, we do. Why? The purpose? Two things. Reforestation, that's very important in Africa. And the second time, we're catching CO2 out of the air, we're fighting the greenhouse effect. Maybe a small contribution, at least it is a contribution.
Quite amazing, and a wonderful magazine. We look forward to getting it ourselves. You can get it at some food stores, at Barnes & Noble, and online. It's called Ode.
Some food stores.
Whole Foods. Also, they plant a tree for every subscriber, which I think is great. And they also have flexible pricing for the magazine itself.
Yeah,